The Beginner's Guide is an interesting game, which should come as no surprise considering it's made by one of the co-creators of the Stanley Parable, Davey Redden. But it's interesting in the fact that, like the Stanley Parable, it's less of a game and more of a commentary on games. To be completely honest, it's just another walking simulator. But the concept behind it is surprisingly original. Davey, who guides the player as the narrator, has a friend named Coda, who has recently stopped designing games. In an effort to convince his friend that he should continue making them, Davey takes the player through all of Coda's games he's made over the course of a few years in an attempt to prove to Coda that audiences enjoy his work. In the process, the player learns more about the inner psyche of both Davey and Coda, and depending on how you play it, maybe even yourself. The Beginner's Guide manages to take the game design process and examine a person through the art that they create, as the player is taken through different stages of Coda's and Davey's lives. It's an introspective game that manages to examine personal identity, depression, and the effect that the creative process can have on an individual. Rather than structure a game around the story is instead structured around games. This unique narrative style elevates the Beginner's Guide and has the potential for video games as a whole to actual art. It's a concept I've never seen done before in a video game, and that's why it wins VGHL's Best Original Game.